Hey everyone, RogueGold here, and today we have some pretty exciting stuff to talk about, and that is the fact that we have gotten news that Year 5 is going to bring us a new type of gear item to the Division 2. And this could have all kinds of implications for the endgame, build making, all of those systems, so I want to get my thoughts on it and break down what we know. I have to give a huge shout out to my buddy and fellow YouTuber here, Sergeant Greybeard, who recently made a video covering an interview that Yannick, who of course is the creative director on the Division 2, had with an outlet where he shared some of this information, and so without that video, I would not have seen the interview, so big shout out to Greybeard. I will leave a link for his video in the description below. But as I said, some of the information we learn in this interview is super exciting, so I want to get into it. If you end up enjoying the video, a like would be greatly appreciated, and be sure to click that subscribe button as well as turning on the notification bell so that you don't miss out on any of my future content and videos. Without further ado, let's get into this. Alright, so I will leave a link for this full interview in the description down below so you can go and read the entire thing if you would like. It focuses on Year 5 and the general future of the Division 2. There's a lot of interesting quotes and details in there, but by far, I would say this is the most interesting thing that comes out of it, and that's why I want to talk about it specifically. So I'll put this up on screen. The question that was asked was, the Division 2 has struggled now and then with the gear system. Will you be making any significant changes to the gear, level, and loot economy? And Yannick responds by saying, with Seasons 2.0, which if you were unaware, that is something that is coming with Year 5 Season 4 along with the new DLC that we're getting for the game, so that should be a big change overall. But he says, we plan to add a new item type. In other words, we'll be reshuffling the gear by creating new items that you'll be chasing, and these new items will have different offerings compared to the gear that you already have. Okay, pretty darn intriguing. We're getting a new gear item to the Division. That's really exciting. Now, there's a million different ways that he could be meaning this, and we won't know the full details until we get further information from Massive themselves, right? But there are a couple different directions that my mind is going in. When I very first read this, I almost considered it being a type of thing like you see in Destiny 2 these days with their seasonal artifacts. No, I don't regularly play Destiny anymore, but from my understanding, they're a new item that you collect every season, and basically what it does is it allows you to unlock different perks on there that are only available for that specific season, and because of that, they can make those things pretty powerful. They can make them influence you to play certain types of ways and play styles for that specific season. So I could certainly see a system like that working well in the Division 2. Different seasons offer you different perks through this new item category. It promotes you to use different types of builds and play styles. It's always something that the game is trying to get you to do anyway. So I could see that working well. Honestly, though, I hope it's not that. I don't love those types of systems where it's encouraging you to play different ways just for the sake of it. I like to be able to play what I want to be able to play, right? And so if I feel like I'm at a disadvantage because I'm not going with what these new perks are for the season, that would bum me out a bit. But again, it could very well be that, but I'm not sure it is, because what he says in the quote is these new items will have different offerings compared to the gear that you already have, and you'll be chasing them. So, you know, the seasonal artifact in Destiny is like a one-time thing that everybody collects at the start of the season, right? And then you're not chasing it. So it sounds like there will be different variations of whatever this new item is, and then it could have different stats on it or whatever the case may be. And so then I think a lot of people are going to wonder, well, is this just going to be a 7th gear slot? Obviously we have masks, backpack, chest piece, gloves, knee pads, holster, and those are the 6 main items where we get all of our stats for our builds. Will this new item type just be a 7th one that gives you additional stats? Maybe, but we know, he says in that quote, it's not going to offer you the same types of stats that you get on the 6 pieces we already have. So I don't quite see it being just a 7th slot, because then that would be a bit odd since it offers you different things. But I imagine it being somewhere in between, where it's kind of like this new item that's a secondary thing that offers you these secondary stats that you don't normally have access to. This could be things like damage to elites, protection from elites, health damage, you know, incoming repair, stuff like that that is more selectively available on the gear that we have, and maybe this is ways for you to more specifically focus into those types of builds that we didn't previously have access to. That's a total guess. Like I said, we won't know for sure until we get more information on this, but anything they can do to shake up the gear game and the build making systems in the game is more than welcome by me. I don't think this is going to be necessarily a Gear 3.0, which I know a lot of us would like, but again, that is very large scope and they're already working on stuff like a DLC and whatnot. I mean, they very well could be doing bigger gear changes that we don't yet know about, but for now, this new item type I think will reshuffle things in the game, and I'm definitely looking forward to that. Whether this is a new physical type of gear item you're going to see on your character, you know, like I saw somebody offer up somewhere that it could be like elbow pads. I don't know how they could fit another gear piece in when they've already designed clothing items that work with the gear models that we already have. Maybe it's like a new slot like your Isaac lens that you can change out with different stuff. I don't know what they're going to do, but as soon as we hear more information, I'm definitely going to cover it, and I'm very excited to hear more about it, because this is the kind of stuff that I think the Division 2 needs, going on 5 years into its lifespan. It needs more stuff to fresh up the experience, and I think this will do that. So that's about all I have for this breakdown here today, guys. I very much hope you enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts on the news that we are going to be getting a 7th type of gear item in the Division 2 come Year 5 Season 4. What on earth do you think this thing could contain? What sort of stats? How do you think it'll fit into the pre-existing gear and build system? How do you think it'll tie into Seasons 2.0, given that's what it's coming alongside? Lots of possibilities. Whatever your thoughts are, leave them down below, and I will be very curious to read through them. And that's going to do it for me today, everybody. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. RogueGold.